Hello friends, today we are going to cover an important topic of home science, that is resources and resource management. So in this chapter we will study about what are resources, its classification, its characteristics and factor affecting their usage. So first we will see what are resources and what is resource management. As we all know, we are human beings and we all need resources to satisfy our needs and comfort, as every family have some goals and it is also making efforts to achieve them. Family needs many resources to achieve these goals. Some of these resources are owned by the family, that is the internal part of the family, but others have to be obtained from the outside. Some of these can be easily and liberally obtained, while others are difficult to arrange for and are always in short supply. These resources are known as limited resources. So, making the best use of these limited resources and achieving the family goals by their judicious allocation in the actual home management, because achieving the family goals is most satisfying to the family. Because achieving these family goals is most satisfying to the family. So now we will see to some of the definitions of the resources. Different authors and writers have given different definitions of resources. So the simplest one is, resources can be defined as those materials or additional human attributes which satisfy our wants and desires and helps in achieving our goals. So, materials are human attributes or material attributes which satisfy our wants and desires, which helps us to achieve what we want in life. Resources are those materials which satisfy us and which helps us to satisfy our wants and desires, which helps us to achieving our goals. Some of these are tangible and some of these are non-tangible. Resources can be classified as human resources and non-human resources. So, according to Knowledge in Deccan, resources are available and recognized for their potential in meeting demands. It means that resources are available and there are means with which we can satisfy our demands. We can meet to our demands. They further define it as those things which have want-satisfying power. So resources are also known as want-satisfying things or powers with which we can satisfy our desires and goals. According to Gross and Crandall, resources are available means for reaching goals and meeting demands. According to them, a resource means anything which is used for the attainment of goals. That is time, energy, money, etc. So now we will look towards the classification of resources. So now classification of resources. Resources can be classified as human and non-human resources, individual and shared resources, natural and community resources. So human resources and non-human resources, we all can see. Human resources are those resources like, for example, time, energy, knowledge, attitude, interest, skills, abilities. And non-human resources like money, material goods, property, community facilities, etc. Human resources are central to carrying out any activity. These resources can be developed through training and self-development. As we all know, these are inbuilt in the human beings. So now we will learn more about human resources. So the first is time. Time is an important human resource which is used to carry out each activity. It is a limited resource. A minute, an hour, a whole day or a whole life during which a person has to sit and to achieve his goals is included in it. This valuable resource is available to everyone in equal amount. It is not divided on basis of any caste, assets or economic status. Everyone gets 24 hours per day to work. The time one used or gone can never return. It cannot be saved and stored for future use. Therefore, each one should utilize it most judiciously. Distribution of time to carry out various activities can help to make its use effective. The next type of human resource is energy. Energy is that human resource which is related to the human body. Energy is used to carry out every physical and mental activity. Besides these external activities, energy is also used for some internal body processes such as eating and digested food, breathing, blood circulation, etc., which are essential to enable and keep the body fit for work. Energy is also a limited resource which cannot be measured. A person cannot determine how much energy he can use or how much energy is available with him after doing a work. It differs from time also in the sense that amount energy is available with him after doing the work. It is a capacity of energy available varies greatly from person to person. For maintaining the capacity of the body to work, judicious use of energy is very important. With the cooperation of other family members and by distributing the work among them, expenditure of energy can be greatly reduced. The next is interest. Attitude and interest, that is, desire or interest of the person in doing the work, is purely a mental setup. Some persons always take initiatives and carry out every work with great interest. They are always curious to know about new things and optimistic. Such persons make the achievement of goals possible. They have a major contribution in group activities, but some persons live only for today. They have no interest in new activities. Their attitude is always negative and pessimistic. Such persons cannot be made to learn and they cannot be depended upon to achieve the goals. Members of the family and his old experiences have a great role in developing the attitude of a person towards some work. Appreciation of the work done, encouraging and providing the facilities can help to develop a positive attitude in a person. The other is knowledge. Knowledge is a valuable human resource that can be used for achieving the goals. Though it is a personal human resource, but we get it from the society. Knowledge helps a person in achieving his goals efficiently, that is by the minimum expenditure of limited resources. Knowledge is unlimited. A person is learning something or the other all the time. For a housewife, this knowledge can be regarding nutritious food, care of the house, care of children, stitching or saving and investment of the money, etc. Such knowledge can be gained through TV, radio, newspapers, magazines, exhibitions, etc. And housewife should always be allowed to get such information. The other one is abilities and skills. Ability or skill of a person in some work is helpful in doing that work successfully and efficiently, which makes the achievement of goal easier. Example, a family has a goal of imparting higher education to their children, but the money is limited therefore. They find it difficult to achieve their goal. If the housewife is efficient and skilled in tailoring and embroidery, she can adopt her skills as profession and earn to add to the money in the family income. Thus, they can achieve their goals easily. If she has educational capability, she can take a teaching job in a school, college, or give tuitions and thus contribute to the family income. Skill can be inherent or obtained after training. Abilities are obtained through learning. Girls learn the household skills from their mothers. Boys get professional skills such as farming, carpentry, blacksmith, masonry, mechanics, etc. from a member of the family. Technical skills and abilities are also provided by the social organizations. So now we will move towards non-human resources. Non-human resources includes money, community facilities, material goods, community facilities, property and material goods, So, money. Money means the purchasing power. It is a resource that can be spent to buy all material resources and even some human resources such as knowledge, skills, etc. Money can help to save limited resources such as time and energy. Money includes the salaries of family members, income from a property, the savings and interest on them. The other one is property and material goods. These are also material goods. This group includes the immovable properties such as house, shop, land, etc. and movable properties such as scooter, car, jewelry, etc. All durable and non-durable things such as food, clothing, etc. The property and material goods are obtained by spending the money. Property is a form of saved money and it can be sold again to get the money for achieving the goals. The last one is community facilities. Community facilities includes transport facilities, hospitals, schools, police stations, etc. This group includes all the facilities and services that the family gets from being a part of the society. These services are provided by the community, state, country, or some welfare organizations. These include schools, hospitals, library, park, market, recreational centers, roads, electricity, water, etc. These facilities are availed by all the families. Some money in the form of taxes is collected from the family for their upkeep and care. Next is individual and shared resources. Individual resources are those resources which are available to an individual for personal use only. For example, my school bag, my clothing, the things which I use, which a single person uses. Natural and community resources. Natural and community resources are those resources like water, mountains, etc., which are natural resources. These resources are available to all of us. These are resources which are available to an individual as a member of the community or society. These resources are generally provided by the government. Next, we have characteristics of resources. All resources have some basic characteristics that show similarities in them. These characteristics are: all resources are useful. All resources have some utility, though some may be more useful than others in a particular situation, but all resources have the satisfying power. Unless we identify the usefulness of a thing, we cannot recognize it as a resource. According to Gross and Trendle, the usefulness or value of a given element may be recognized only in relation to a specific goal. Thus, usefulness of a particular resource would be different for different goals. For example, money may be the most valuable resource for purchasing a house, but it cannot be useful in doing well in the examination. For this goal, only the intellectual ability can be a useful resource, though money can help to get intellectual ability. But in that case, it would be considered as a secondary resource. Thus, all resources are useful, but their usefulness varies according to the problems to be solved. Resources are limited. Next characteristic is resources are limited. All resources are scarce, though some may be more scarce than others. Therefore, the adequate management seems very important. The scarcity of a resource can only be judged in relation to a particular goal. It can be qualitative and quantitative. Limit of time is quantitative because there are only 24 hours in a day. We cannot save time from the day for future use. Energy is also a limited resource because the amount of energy available with a person cannot be estimated. Attitudes and abilities of a person are quantitative limited. No person is born capable of doing a job. Thus, the first limit is set by the inherent capacity of the individual, and second limit is due to the availability of limit. Availability of opportunities for learning. If a person has the inherent capacity to learn, but he is not able to get the opportunities for learning, then the ability becomes a limited resource for him. Next is all resources are interrelated. Next is all resources are interrelated. A goal cannot be achieved by the use of any single resource. Use of any one resource affects the use of the other. One resource can also be used in place of the other. For example, extra money can be spent to save energy. Household appliances can be purchased by spending the money, or a domestic help can be arranged on payment of money, which can save the other two resources, for example, time and energy. Resources like abilities and skills can be helpful in finishing a task with least expenditure of time and energy. Time and energy can be used to save money or earn money, more money. Next is, a resource can be used for one purpose only at a time. Resources may have more than one use, but one resource can be used for one purpose only at a given time. For example, the time that is being used to carry out a particular activity cannot be used simultaneously for some other purposes. Similarly, a particular unit of energy that is being used to finish one task cannot be used for some another activity. The unit of money that is being spent to buy one article, same unit cannot be used for buy anything else. Similarly, the skill obtained in doing one particular task cannot be helpful in doing the other. Quality of life is determined by the use of resources. Resources are limited, and if these are used judiciously to achieve a particular goal, then the person will be able to achieve what he wants with minimum expenditure of resources, and his quality of life will improve. If a person learns a skill or technical ability by making the best use of this time, by putting in best of his efforts, and by making the best use of his money, then he can adopt it as a profession to earn more money. By spending this money, he can provide good food, clothing, and education to his children. This will improve his quality of life as well as the standard of life. So there are some factors which affects the use of resources. The first factor is skills of the homemaker. The use of resources is affected by the planning made for their use, identifying the primary need of the family, allocation of resources for meeting them, that is, deciding about how much time, money, energy, and other facilities are required for doing them, then making the resource available and evaluating whether the resource are being used for the purpose they are allocated for or not. All this can only be managed by efficient and skillful homemaker. The another one is economic status of the family. Money is such a resource that it can be used to get other resources. If the family has lot of money, then it can buy time and labor, saving appliances, can get a domestic help, and thus can lead a comfortable life. They don't have to bother much about the efficient use of other resources also, because for them, these resources are not limited. A poor family will set its goal just to a limit of meeting their basic needs. Their resources are very limited, therefore there is no question of their misuse. A middle class family wants to achieve high goals, and their limited resources, therefore it always tries to get maximum out of them. The another one is education of the family members. If the family members are educated, they will realize the importance of their resources and will also be more aware of them. Thus, they will use them in a better way. For example, an educated housewife will be aware of the time and labor saving devices such as washing machine, food processor, microwave oven, etc. The next one is goals of the family. The next one is goals of the family. Every family has different goals. Some families want to give higher education to their children. Some want to expand family business, while some others are satisfied with what they have. Higher the goals, more efforts the family would put in it to achieve them, and better would be the utilization of the resources. For some families, money is a source of comfort and recreational, while for others, it's a means for fulfilling the family needs only. Both will spend their money according to their objectives. The next one is place where the family lives. Family living in villages, towns, cities, and big cities have different needs and goals. People living in villages and towns can get good food, clothing, and has a house by spending less amount of money. They can spend their savings to achieve other goals, while their counterparts in large cities have to part with a large sum to get similar facilities because most of their money is spent on fulfilling the basic needs. Composition of the family. In large families, more resources are required for satisfying the wants of all the family members. For example, a single family with 4 members can provide a comfortable living and good education to their children in a monthly income of Rs 20,000. But in a joint family of about 10 to 12 members is not possible with this amount. In the end, we have resources conservation. How we can conserve our resources. The resource conservation may be defined as the management of for the benefit of all life, including humankind, of the biosphere, so that it may lead sustainable benefit for the present generation while maintaining its potential to meet the needs and aspirations of the future generation. It is important to note that due to the continuous increase in the population, the demand for resources is also increased. This has created a situation when in the coming years the non-renewable resources may come to an end. All resources are finite, none are unlimited. We need to utilize resources effectively and judiciously. Therefore, these resources should not be misused or wasted, and the conservation of resources is also important, as with the growth of industry and technology. Human beings have started utilizing natural resources at a much larger scale. There is a need for some kind of balance between the population growth and the utilization of natural resources. There is a dire need to conserve our resources worldwide for our own interest and for the use of future generations. Conservation is that aspect of management which needs to be ensured. That's it for today. We will meet again